Nothing like a controversial death to get everybody at each other's throats again, right? In the process of fighting monsters, don't see to it that you yourself become a monster. I think that quote is highly applicable, especially over the last 6 months. To everybody, all sides, both sides, all humans. All right, yeah, we're going to talk about that Minneapolis ICE shooting that happened with the woman that the establishment is trying to turn into the next George Floyd. We'll call her Karen Floyd. Protests already going on. Everybody already freaking out. The winter of love is coming, friends. Although, do you think George Soros pays his agitators a extra winter bonus? Paying them to protest in the summer is probably easier. I don't want to go out there and protest during the winter. It's cold. The roads are icy. Yeah, I might have an unpopular opinion or two during this whole ICE shooting discussion. We'll get there probably mid-show, but somebody asked me if it was justified. And my answer was yes and no. So we'll see. We'll see what I say about that. USDA food guidelines, too. We're going to start off the show with that. Been waiting on that. I thought that was going to come out in December. Took them a little extra time to put that Photoshop graphic together, I guess, and figure out what shape they were going to make it. But we're going to talk about the USDA dietary guidelines and watch some hilarious videos that RFK Jr. posted today about it. Just common sense food guidelines now. It's way better. Way better. Simple. But, you know. We're all so different. That's the thing. We're all so different. Different ancestry. Different metabolisms. Different goals and objectives. So you can't put dietary guidelines out there for everybody, right? There's no one-size-fits-all approach. We'll rant on that in a moment. What else are we going to talk about? Trump taking on the military-industrial complex today. Couple of very interesting posts on True Social about him calling out defense contractors and saying he wants to raise the budget of the military by 50% to $1.5 trillion, which that's a doozy. But also calling out defense contractors for their fraud and waste, which is interesting. Also, Trump removing America from a bunch of United Nations entities today. Not the United Nations itself, but like 36 of their entities. So effectively like almost the whole United Nations. And some other things we'll chat about as well. All right. Let me say hi to you guys. What up over on YouTube? Edgar from Long Island. What's up, man? Youngins on Rumble. Young Hands. What's up, Sissy, Two Bears, Empress, William, Julesy, Sinstar, all you guys on YouTube and the Pilled fam over there. Hey, real quick, one thing I want to ask you guys, get some feedback on. I'm thinking of doing nightly streams Monday through Friday, and let me tell you why. So I want to get on the Rumble Studio, Rumble Creators Program thing, and you have to stream 30 hours a month to do that. But also, I have an agreement with Pilled to do exclusive streams over on Pilled. Now, I've been trying to do those exclusive streams on Pilled in the mornings, but it's just way too tough for me to do those in the mornings. Can't stay consistent or fit it in my schedule. And not as many people are up at the times I am in the mornings or watching the mornings. So I'm thinking Monday through Friday streams. The first hour will be to all the channels like I normally do, right? And then the second hour will be only over to Pilled. And I'd do that Monday through Friday. Let me know if you'd be open to that. I don't know if that's too much, Jordan. But just let me get your feedback. All right. What else do I want to cover? Let me just shout out My Digital Money real quick. Sponsor of today's show. With the way inflation and currency devaluation are going, smart investors are turning to Bitcoin not as a gamble, but as a global hedge against inflation backed by major funds, banks, and even governments. After reaching an all-time high of 124,000 a few months ago, Bitcoin has pulled back to about 90,000. Many see this as a good opportunity to invest before the next uptrend. When you invest with My Digital Money, you'll get US-based support and secure offline storage, so your crypto stays protected. You can even open a crypto IRA or roll over your existing 401k to enjoy valuable tax benefits. Protect and grow your digital assets today with My Digital Money. Go to jordansathercrypto.com. Link will be in the description or the pinned comment underneath this video. Cool. It's a bit much having to join all these different streaming sites. You don't have to. I'll be doing the same streams. If you prefer YouTube, still be doing YouTube. It'll be more YouTube streams, right? Instead of Monday, Wednesday, Friday, it'll be Monday through Friday. So you don't have to join all of them by any means. My only point being that I'll stream Monday through Friday every day so I can get the hours in to get on the Rumble Studio program. Still be streaming to YouTube for the first hour. And the second hour will just be live chat hangout over on Pilled. So if you want to come hang out on Pilled for the second hour, you can. Otherwise, still be streaming to YouTube and Rumble. Comment: when you are ordered to put your car in park, do it, or you can get what happened, and it's your own fault. The officers were in the right when you take everything into consideration. I don't think he had to shoot, but I totally understand why he did, and I do think it was reasonable. And if you play stupid games, you win stupid prizes, right? So, by no means am I cheering or saying good riddance. I think it is gross that some people on these quote-unquote right, some people are doing that. A few. And it's like the lefties were out here cheering Charlie Kirk's death. Some lefties, not all. But some lefties were out here cheering Charlie Kirk's death a couple months ago, murder, and now they're distraught over this shooting in Minneapolis. Okay, spare me your righteous indignation, you lefties that were doing that. But at the same time, the righties, the ones that are cheering or saying good riddance, don't be hypocrites either. So, all right. USDA guidelines. We'll hit that first. Introducing the new pyramid. It's still a pyramid. It's just upside down now. They just flipped it. And hilariously, this is what many nutrition advocates, let's just say that, for years, decades even, nutrition advocates, personal trainers, people who were Maha before Maha was a thing, a lot of us just said, hey, flip that pyramid upside down, and that's way better advice than what it originally was, what it used to be. And that's basically exactly what the USDA and Trump admin RFK Jr. did. This is the old one, introduced in 1992. And, I mean, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to theorize that the multinational food producers had a hand, paid some money to get this created this specific way, especially Kellogg's and General Mills and the grain, wheat, cereal, boxed Pop-Tart makers. Just look at this crap, right? Why did it zoom in? Hold on. I didn't want that. Why 6 to 11 servings of bread, rice, cereal, and pasta per day? 6 to 11 servings? Yeah, if you want to become a fat, gelatinous bastard, you eat 6 to 11 servings of bread per day. What? 2 to 4 serving. What is a serving even as well, right? That is so arbitrary and subjective. What is a serving? You look at the side of the box. 1 serving is this. Okay, does that apply to a 110-pound female as much as it applies to a 220-pound athlete? No. So servings really shouldn't be on there. 6 to 11 quote-unquote servings for frickin' bread. Good luck with your colon and heart and liver with that one. 2 to 3 servings of meat, 2 to 3 of dairy. That's unnecessary right there. Don't get me wrong, I like milk, raw milk only. I don't like pasteurized sugar water milk. And I like some cottage cheese and cheese now and again, but 2 to 3 is quite a bit. Don't need that much. Fats, oils, and sweets used sparingly. Okay, but the bread and cereal are basically glorified sweets. If you're eating white, refined Wonder Bread or Cheerios, those spike your insulin the same way as eating freaking white sugar. High fructose corn syrup spikes your insulin even more than eating the sweets. So this whole thing's trash. And basically just turned it right around. There's no serving suggestions on here, which is good. More specific protein targets. 1.2 to 1.6 grams of protein per kilogram. Oh no, Americans. Do you know what a kilogram is? This commenter over here. Why is an American document talking in kilograms? Dude. Just do some math. There aren't ounces of protein in meat. You don't have a denomination small enough. So, okay. 1.2 to 1.6 grams per kilogram. That actually makes sense. So how many kilograms do I weigh? Approximately 70? 75? So, 90 grams of protein a day. That's about right for me. I ain't no bodybuilder, but I'm fairly active. We are ending the war on protein. Every meal must prioritize high-quality, nutrient-dense protein from both animal and plant sources, paired with healthy fats from whole foods, such as eggs, seafood, meats, full-fat dairy. Vegetables and fruits are essential to real food nutrition. Eat a wide variety of colorful foods, prioritizing freshness and minimal processing. Still got some servings on there. Whole grains are encouraged. Refined carbohydrates are not. Kellogg's punching air right now. Prioritize fiber-rich whole grains. Sorry, Lucky Charms. And then you also note, I like that they put this little demarcation line in there. Because there is no such thing as an essential carbohydrate. There are essential fats, essential fatty acids your body requires to function properly. There are essential amino acids. Some amino acids in protein are not essential. There are a select few EAAs, essential amino acids, that your body requires, can't manufacture on its own. There's no such thing as an essential carbohydrate. You can live without carbohydrates. But, you know, depending on your activity level, your metabolism, your goals, you might need carbohydrates to run marathons, right? Lift heavy, work at your construction job. Your body might need carbs. But to live, just to be alive, you don't need carbs. So I like that little demarcation line. You got the meats up there, fruit, veg. You got a little bit of dairy, not too much. Whole milk? Nah, dog, that should be raw milk. But we're getting there. We're getting there. It's cool. I dig it. And then freaking this video is going viral. I don't know when this episode of South Park aired. I'm assuming years ago, given the graphics. But I guess there was a clip. There was an episode of South Park. Here, just watch. South Park finds the solution to the obesity epidemic.
It's dinner time on the East Coast in less than an hour. People are going to die.
Sir, we've got a boy on the hotline who says he might know something.
Who is this?
My name isn't important. What matters is that the answer is in the pyramid.
The pyramid? That's ancient stuff you're talking about. Are you sure? Bring up the pyramid.
What is it? What is it for?
We built the pyramid a long time ago to illustrate how much people should eat of the 4 basic food groups.
Sir, we abandoned the pyramid when Michelle Obama got involved.
The pyramid doesn't work. We've already tried it.
It's upside down.
What?
Sir, the pyramid is upside down.
Turn the pyramid upside down.
You can't be serious. That would put butter and fat at the top
Flip the damn food pyramid!
This is not FDA approved.
It's dinner time on the East Coast in 10 minutes. Now do it!
Sir, we've got a match.
Nutrition is stabilizing.
We've got a well-balanced vaccine, sir.
Get the president on the phone. Tell him to have some steak with his butter.
Nutrition is stabilizing. And then RFK posts that clip, but it's a little different.
The pyramid doesn't work. We've already tried it.
It's upside down.
What?
Sir, the pyramid is upside down.
Turn
Kennedy's
the pyramid
in
upside down.
You can't be serious. That would put butter and fat at the top
Flip the damn food pyramid!
That's their chart.
Get the president on the phone.
Flip it upside down. That's good. That's hilarious. All right. And then during their press conference introducing these dietary guidelines for Americans, Kennedy says if a foreign adversary sought to destroy the health of our children, to cripple our economy, and to weaken our national security, there would be no better strategy than to addict us to ultra-processed foods. The damage is real. It is preventable. And POTUS has ordered it to end. Yeah, not just foreign adversary, but who are the main beneficiaries of us getting addicted to ultra-processed foods? Domestic enemies. Domestic money-driven psychopaths that are in control of big food and big pharma corporations. So more importantly, the domestic adversaries trying to destroy our health. Maybe that's a little bit too far for him to say, but I just wanted to throw that in there. Although, yes, 100%. No better strategy than to addict us to freaking candy and Doritos and Coca-Cola. Please, please cut out the Coke. If you're drinking soda, Mountain Dew, Sprite, Pepsi, any of that, you are killing yourself. All right. United Nations. Today, Trump signed a presidential memorandum directing the withdrawal of the U.S. from 66 international organizations that no longer serve American interests, including 31 UN entities. I haven't found a list on that yet. I will look for it. But 35 U.S. entities and 35 UN entities. 35 non-UN, 31 UN entities. U.S. out of the UN entities. Effectively the whole UN, but not quite. We're getting there. Again, step by step. Step by step. A couple of comments in the chat. Do I have a link to that food pyramid? Yeah. Should be pretty easy to find if you search it on X, but I'll drop one in the chat here. Yoink. There you go. Always cook my steak with a lot of butter, me too. Damn those Doritos in my stoner teen years. Oh, man. I was a fat little pudgy boy, let me tell you. I dropped that weight right before junior high, but man, late elementary and in middle school, I was a porker buying the Husky jeans. You know, it was white bread with cinnamon and sugar on it for breakfast. Commonly. It's a very common thing. Or just straight cereal, right? Lucky Charms and whatever. Cocoa Puffs. Bad, dude. Bad. Your mitochondria still needs bread. It doesn't need it. You know, your body can go into ketosis and utilize fat for energy, but again, you're not going to have as much metabolic energy as having some kind of glucose carbohydrates from sources. So if you're trying to do any kind of intensive, especially aerobic exercise, it's better to eat some carbs. Although those carbs, IMO, are better coming from fruit and or honey than grain products. But in terms of grain, if I do eat grains, which I do on occasion, I like Ezekiel cereal. Ezekiel cereal is a sprouted, very minimally processed cereal, and it's got a lot more nutrients in it, a lot more fiber. Being sprouted grains, like sprouted barley and whatnot. Einkorn pasta. Einkorn is an ancient grain that hasn't been so damn hybridized like modern wheat. So you can find einkorn pasta, einkorn, various product, bread, I think too, flour. Einkorn flour, highly suggest if you're making banana bread or muffins or whatever at home, homemade. Find einkorn flour. That's EINKORN. Einkorn. Just let me show you this stuff. Ezekiel also makes taco shells. So when I do tacos, I get the Ezekiel tortillas. So there are ways to find far better grains than freaking Cheerios or, you know, shockingly, I was at the grocery store today, Fred Meyer, and I was kind of surprised. Like, they're trying to healthify it. I mean, I still wouldn't buy 85% of the shit in there, but compared to 2 years ago, it was probably 90% I wouldn't buy. I was kind of surprised. How many, like, I'm not going to say healthy, but healthier options they're trying to put around. So I think things are changing, at least a wee bit. Still got a lot more to go. But, all right. So this is, I'm just making sure, like, when I Google search things, no info comes up. Like cities and addresses and stuff. Let's see. Einkorn, Jovial Foods. So einkorn flour. That's the einkorn pasta I get. All-purpose einkorn flour. Highly suggest that if you're making any homemade baked goods. So einkorn, ancient grain. Humans have eaten it for 12,000 years. And it just hasn't been hybridized like modern wheat. So solid there. And then this is the Ezekiel brand of, I grabbed their tortillas and their cereals. So Ezekiel's pretty solid. Yeah, Dave's Killer bread ain't bad. I eat some Dave's Killer time and again. I don't really like the Ezekiel bread. I'll get their cereal and their tortillas, but their bread is kind of iffy. So, not quality-wise, just taste. It's like quite dry, at least from what I remember. So I do Dave's Killer Bread. It's all right. Had some last night, actually. Made some duck eggs and had some Dave's Killer toast with it. So Dave's Killer probably ain't as great as it could be, but I respect Dave, man. That ex-con. I think he got arrested again a few years ago. Wild guy, but some ex-convict spent a bunch of years in prison, and when he got out, he started a bread company. And yeah, I mean, I'll grab Dave's Killer like hamburger buns sometimes too. They got good English muffins. Yeah, I get bummed when I'm at the grocery store and they don't have the Dave's Killer hamburger buns, because I'm not gonna buy that cheap white bread trash. So, Dave's Killer burger buns only. Been buying soft tortilla shells made with avocado oil. Nice. That's cool. Yeah, I've seen those. I don't remember the brand, but they're like targeted towards weight loss, and they have 17 grams of fiber per tortilla shell. I think I've had those a couple times. They're all right. Not bad, not great. Quality-wise. Best healthy food to keep putting on weight. I need big time, no thyroid, etc., etc. We can chat about that later when I get to the Q&A portion. I've got some suggestions to help. I also have questions. Chat says, consumed so many hot Cheetos during my school days. We all had our go-tos, right? We all had our go-tos. Local grocer has fell way down since the hometown guy who owned it sold and retired. That's a bummer. Yeah, it's really you have to stay frosty out there in terms of these brands that sell out or get bought out by private equity or bigger corporations. There's a lot of supplement companies, food producers, and natural grocery stores that are getting bought out by the big boys. Even hygiene brands, cosmetic brands too. So I could go down a list of dozens of pet food brands too. There's a lot of pet food brands that are owned by your Nestle's and General Mills, Kellogg's, producers like that. So really got to be careful. You know, don't just read the label, but sometimes I'll turn around the ingredient label. Produced by, okay, who the hell's that company? And then I'll go to Google and then I'll search, okay, who owns XYZ company? So do that sometimes too. Not just read the label, but dig into who's making the stuff that you're putting down your mouth hole. Or where you're deciding to go to shop. Now Foods is solid, yep. I like Now brand products. I buy some of their stuff now and again. Now and again. For basic things. I wouldn't go to Now brand for multivitamins or more complicated products, shall we say. But if it's just a basic, like, I want an enzyme, I think I use Now brand digestive enzymes sometimes. Or single ingredients like an L-theanine or basic things. Now is solid. They're cheap and family owned still. Yeah, I like Now. Hey, on that note, guys, I'm going to be firing up my health coaching group, my private health coaching group in a week and a half. So you'll see some more emails, posts about this. Live weekly calls. Got about 100 videos in here, exclusive videos. Community of folks all helping each other, having each other's back. Took a break for a few weeks just because busy with things, but I'm going to dive back into it. So if you're interested, there'll be a link in the description below, and I can assist you with much more personalized advice. And you'll have a lot of videos and weekly calls and all sorts of stuff. So check that out. Shoot me a DM or an email if you have more questions. Been quickly going away from shopping at Aldi's. Just about every label has made using GMO food items on it. Yeah, with big box grocery stores, probably about 90% of the stuff I would not purchase at a big box store. The stuff I would purchase is meat, fruit, veg, like the real food. That's actually one cool thing about this food pyramid. Eat Real Food, ERF. For years, myself and some others, I think I got this from Troy Casey, the certified health nut. JERF, Just Eat Real Food. I've been saying that acronym for years. And I got it from him, who was saying it longer than me. JERF. And then this new food pyramid is ERF. We need an ERF day. That's cool. I thought that was funny. All right, let's go to our very divisive, very controversial subject of the day. We'll see how long this is in the public discourse for, how long it distracts us for. Chaos erupts after ICE fatally shoots Minneapolis rioter who attempted to run over agents. So we'll check out the videos. Got a couple of them here. Real quick. Appreciate it, Patrick. Rumble rant. Just turned 66. Doctor just put me on blood pressure pill and heartbeat pill. NMA. Not medical advice. Protect myself. But I can assist you with some much more natural things for blood pressure. Blood pressure is one of those that's fairly easy to support, shall we say. And I've suggested hundreds, if not thousands of people over the last 15 years, many things to help get off meds or, at least, yes, I might be able to assist you. So shoot me an email and we can talk. So let's see. ICE officers in Minneapolis were conducting targeted operations when rioters began blocking ICE officers, and one of the violent rioters weaponized her vehicle, attempting to run over our law enforcement officers in an attempt to kill them. An act of domestic terrorism. Well, frankly, we don't know the driver's intent. So, yes, it makes sense that DHS, even Trump, the Trump admin, are going to be running self-protective narratives, which is understandable. Looking at the video, here's one angle, slow motion angle. Backs up. You got one officer to the side. They're telling her to stop. They're like, just stop your damn car. And she should have stopped her damn car. In fact, she shouldn't have been there in the freaking first place, right? So she is in the process of what we call fucking around. And unfortunately, she is about to do what we call find out. Now, first of all, the road is icy. So look at her tires here. I'm checking out her tires. When she hits the gas, it slips, right? Even the officers, they're kind of walking. They're walking gingerly, trying not to slip. Now when I'm checking out her tires too, so she turns it. I mean, I know this guy who fired the shots is in front of the car, but her tires, her wheels, I don't think her intent is to hit him. I think her intent is to just drive around the road. Her tires go toward the road, like right there. Otherwise, if she wanted to hit him, man, she'd be barreling straight that way. Now he begins taking a step to the side. You know, even before, he's kind of over here, and he's stepping this way, he's stepping this way. Now, when she hits the gas, in that split second, he doesn't know. I think her intent is to get the road, not hit him. But he doesn't know that. He hears tires start slipping on ice. Car starts moving forward. He believes she is going after him, which is completely understandable. In that fraction of a second, his thought is, oh shit, she's going to try and hit me. So then he steps again, and fires. I mean, he's kind of moving to the side, honestly. In his mind, he feels, yeah, I need to defend myself, which is understandable. Granted, would he be alive if he didn't shoot? I think he would be. I don't think he had to shoot. But, again, tense situation, fraction of a second. Car's going toward him. So he drew, and he fired. You know, they say that's how they're trained. They train as close as they can to real-world scenarios, but you can never get it one-to-one. Real-world scenarios are always going to be different than what the training trains them for. You know, my point here is that I don't think the shooting had to happen. I don't think he had to fire. He would still be alive if he didn't fire. But I think from his point of view, it's understandable. And you get this to a court of law if the court is honest. They're going to find that the shooting was justifiable. He believed he was in imminent danger, so he shot. And that protester, agitator, whoever the hell, driving the car, that lady, we should not be celebrating that. We shouldn't be saying good riddance. But there's things called, what do they call it? Consequences. Or the great natural law of cause and effect. So, you want to go out, lead some agitation, protest, get in your car, go, oh shit, slam the gas, try to turn. Cops in front of you telling you to stop repeatedly. Well, yeah. Chat says, nope, that's not a clear-cut case of self-defense. Here's the thing. That's just an opinion I read. There's so many people at each other's throats right now over freaking opinions. And opinions are like assholes, right? We all got them. And some are real shitty. So, that's fine. You can have that opinion. I just sometimes in some of these very tense, controversial situations. Everybody could have handled it better, right? It's like people are so quick to just be led like sheep into their respective sides of... one comment says, he was hit. Check the front view. He was kind of pushed. He was more pushed than hit. She used the vehicle as a deadly weapon. I don't think he would have died if he got hit. Again, the car was going like 2 miles an hour. But, again, from his point of view, he didn't know what her intent was. Even though I don't think her intent was to hit him. I think her intent was to get back on the road. But in that split second, car pointed right at him. Wheels start going burr. He don't know. So, he shot. I can understand it from his point of view. I can't really understand it from her point of view. Bitch should have just stopped the car. Not been there in the first place. So, anyway. Here's that other angle. I'm just kind of slowing it down here, going frame by frame. Yeah, I mean, to say he was hit, like he's got a broken rib cage from that, he was more pushed. He was kind of pushed, right? And again, her car, the wheels turned to get back on the road. If she like really wanted to hit him, she would have barreled her car straight forward, not onto the road. But we don't know her intent. This is just me theorizing here. I don't know her intent. So we can't assume that. He panicked, she panicked. They both panicked. I mean, shit. She panicked, slamming the foot on the gas, and he panicked, whipping out his pistol. So, they both freaking panicked. But now let's get into who the chick was. It was in the car. Her name was Renee Good. A pronoun person, of course. This is a screenshot of her Instagram. It is a private Instagram. You know, you see the bio there.
What the fuck?
Whoops. Didn't mean to play that. You see the bio there. You got the pronouns. You got the tranny flag. Just raging Antifa lefty kind of person. Note this right here in her Instagram bio. From Colorado, experiencing Minneapolis. Okay. Why was she there with Missouri plates on that car? In fact, can we see it in the video here? It's grainy, but JKG are the first three. Or JK6. There you go. So, Missouri plates. There's the plate. Why is Renee from Colorado, but quote-unquote experiencing Minneapolis in a Missouri license plate car? Could it be such that she is paid to go experience Minneapolis? Could it be such that she's a professional agitator? Paid to be there and agitate ICE? Also, this is a video from a witness who basically confirms, corroborates at least, that this Renee chick that was there and got shot, she was basically leading this line of cars that were there to block ICE, and she was the main agitator.
They clearly wanted her out of there because she was the main car leading the protest, is my understanding. I talked to another guy who was driving behind her, but she was very successful in blocking traffic. She was doing what she was set out to do, and so they wanted to get her the hell out of there. Yeah.
So it looked like she was impeding ICE vehicles.
Definitely, yeah.
Okay.
That was her goal. They clearly...
Chat says, I'm sorry that she's not alive, but don't threaten other people. Her plates are Colorado. That says Missouri. Pretty clearly. Unless you can prove me wrong and that this is or prove this photo wrong, that this is AI or fake or something, but that does not look fabricated. Her bio says she's from Colorado, but those plates appear to say Missouri. I don't know. She has a child and risked her life for what? Yeah, exactly, right? How... It's just so sad. This is how brainwashed people are. Brainwashed by their TikTok and CNN and wherever the hell else they get their beliefs from. But she was out there protesting ICE, trying to, defend empty Somalian daycares that milk millions of dollars from state budgets. Got to go protect the empty daycares. So she gets out there, leads a line of vehicles, gets into a real heated, tense moment, trying to disrupt ICE to save the immigrants or some shit. What? She rented the car? Yeah, maybe, but I don't think so, because that car rentals don't have stickers on it like that. Sorry. Rentals don't have stickers on it like that. That doesn't look like a rental. Plus, most rentals are fairly new-ish cars, I guess. Unless she got this off Turo. But then if she rented the car off Turo, that should be a local person with Minnesota plates. So I don't know. Chat says this is going to escalate bigly. Welp. It already is. Aerial view of protesters, demonstrators, bystanders out there starting a vigil already. Oh my gosh, she was 37. 37-year-old driver, Karen Floyd. Middle of a Wednesday, man. Don't you have a job? Oh, I take that back. I guess her job is to go out and protest. Thanks, Soros. So, yep, disruption's already taken place. Escalation's already taken place. Tim Wall's out here.
Order to prepare the Minnesota National Guard. We have soldiers in training and prepared to be deployed if necessary. I remind you, a warning order is a heads up for folks.
I am now going to mobilize the National Guard to keep the federal government out of Minnesota. That sounds pretty insurrection-y, bro. Better be careful. And hey, never let a good crisis go to waste. What a perfect situation for him to lean into to help with the distraction and deflection from the investigations into him. The leftist mayor of Minneapolis, Jacob Frey, I will say, though, man, that was a quick draw. Quick draw, single shot. I mean, He had good training, I guess. At least for his accuracy. We talked about this guy defending the Somalians the other day. Ooh, he drops an
Watch what happens when
F-bomb.
you block
Oh, but I gotta
DHT
deal
from
with
your scalp.
freaking
Day one, nothing
Rumble
visible
ads.
yet.
No, I'm not gonna worry about that. Anyway. We talked about that guy. What a mess. Who owns the car she was driving? Good question. Maybe it's a person she knows in that state. Yeah, maybe, but Missouri is pretty far away from Minnesota. So I don't know, man. They've got their 2026 Winter of Love coming. And they're just going to go to town on this. CNN, NBC, they're going to go to town on it. This is all you're going to see for weeks. They'll probably try to draw this out for months. Oh, God. All right. Subject change. Trump calling out the military-industrial complex. This was his first post. Says he wants to increase the budget of the military a substantial amount. We'll get there. But this was the first post. All United States defense contractors and the defense industry as a whole, beware. While we make the best equipment in the world, defense contractors are currently issuing massive dividends to their shareholders and massive stock buybacks at the expense and detriment of investing in plants and equipment. This will no longer be allowed. Also, executive pay packages in the defense industry are exorbitant and unjustified, given how slowly they move to build stuff. Why are executives making so much damn money when they're so slow? Maintenance is slow, repair is slow. These executives must build new and modern production plants. Therefore, I will not, Trump says, permit dividends or stock buybacks for defense companies until such time as these problems are rectified. Lockheed punching air right now. And he also calls out Raytheon. I've been informed by the Department of War that defense contractor Raytheon has been the least responsive to the needs of the military and the slowest in increasing their volume, and the most aggressive spending on their shareholders rather than the needs and demands of the military. Yeah, get wrecked, Raytheon, he basically says. I am not the last guy. So he makes these two posts, and then about 20 minutes later, talks about significantly increasing the budget of the military. He says, our military budget for the year 2027 should not be $1 trillion, but rather $1.5 trillion. 50% increase. Huh. He says, I would stay at the $1 trillion amount, but because of all the money we're making from tariffs, we can easily hit 1.5 trillion. All right. Well, I think what he's doing is just dangling a giant, delicious carrot of $500 extra billion in potential monies. But he's saying, hey, play by our rules. I mean, the first Pentagon audit ever was during Trump's first term. Now, the Pentagon is such an over-bloated, big-ass agency that it's been taking them a few audits to go through everything. And they've been, quote-unquote, failing each one, which, of course. But the Pentagon was never audited until Trump's first term. And now I'm sure they're finding out a lot. And Trump is now saying, hey, we should have a $1.5 trillion military. And the defense contractors are like, oh my God, I love it. But Trump is at the same time saying, hey, bitches, you better actually make stuff and make it well and not milk the budgets. So here's a big, giant, juicy carrot that you could have, but you better get your act together. That's his strategy here, I presume. Greenland. Stephen Miller refuses to rule out U.S. action on Greenland. Denmark is big mad. Denmark's prime minister says a U.S. takeover of Greenland would mark the end of NATO. Well, don't tempt us with a good time.
Are you not entertained?
Trump proceeds to call out NATO. Remember, for all of those big NATO fans, they were at 2% GDP, and most weren't paying their bills. The U.S. is paying for all of it. I got them to 5% GDP, and they pay me immediately. Yeah, get wrecked, NATO. What a waste. Get out of the UN, get out of NATO. Oh, what? Is that such a bad thing? Is that a man or a woman? That's a chick. You got this new January 6th website from the White House, too. Wild, man. Yeah, January 6th. What, 5-year anniversary yesterday? Crazy. I was thinking about going to D.C. on January 6th. I was thinking about road tripping out there with a couple of people for Trump's big speech and all of that, but I'm glad I didn't. I mean, I wouldn't have been the kind of person to go dick around in the congressional building, but I'm the kind of person where I would have been standing at the back and just observing. But, yeah, what a mess that turned out to be. Who knows what would have happened. Cool website, though. I think I heard somewhere in this website that he basically calls it a false flag. In truth, it was the Democrats who staged the real insurrection by certifying a fraud-ridden election, ignoring widespread irregularities, and weaponizing federal agencies to hunt down dissenters. Gaslighting, distract from their own undermining of democracy. We're going to get a lot of info about the election come out in 2026, and we'll see if we get the beginnings of some justice on it. I'm seeing if this website says anything about feds being in there. I don't know if they go that far, but this is a doozy. Quite the site. And then there were some hearings into the Minnesota fraud today. All hell breaks loose at hearing on Minnesota fraud as a Democrat representative, the bald one, goes into a screaming meltdown. I want to listen to this. but I don't want to click on an embedded Rumble video and get hit with corny AI ads. So, ain't that something? This fraud is crazy. You know, we've got, what, multiple current Somalian politicians. We're now finding out that we're involved in healthcare fraud in Ohio. Ohio, of all places. No wonder Governor Mike DeWine is covering, saying, oh, our fraud investigators are great. They're not finding anything. It's just, what did he say? It was routine business. These kinds of things. Having empty daycares is like routine business. Fuck Mike DeWine, that clown. But, yeah, multiple Somalian current officials. One of them is their ambassador to the UN right now. And the other, what's the other guy do? Some official in some ministry in Somalia. Both of them either are or were running home healthcare clinics in Ohio. One of them had already been flagged for Medicaid fraud by HHS. And they were doing this while they were officials in Somalia. It's insane. Oh, did we talk about Washington State Legislature? I don't remember if I talked about this on Monday. This might have been a Tuesday thing that I found. Washington State Legislature introduced a bill to hide the information about in-home daycares in their state. Make it all private. Expand the exemption for personal information for family home childcare providers. Wonder why? What do you have to hide, Washington State politician people? How much fraud is going on there? Oh, yeah. A lot. Rigged elections all over in Washington. They want to hide all the info for their imported voters. Vikings returning to Greenland. Hashtag Valhalla. I'd go visit. The land of my people. King County, Washington is a shit show indeed. King County's bad. Bad. What up, Rick? My man. Furmansky. What's up, brother? We'll see. We'll see where society goes from here. We'll see where Minneapolis goes from here. How long did those 2020 protests get drawn out? The whole George Floyd thing. That went on for like a couple months, didn't it? Now here's the thing about that shooting, is that the psychopaths like George Soros that pay these agitators, that's exactly what they want to happen. These paid agitators are just cannon fodder. They're just cannon fodder. Useful idiots. And George Soros is probably sitting back, freaking loving it, because they want chaos and destabilization as much as possible, right? So it's sad, really. It's super sad. How gone do I think England will be 1 year from now? Good luck. They'll call it North Africa. All of Europe just seems to be going, except Poland and Italy, but most all of Europe just seems to be. Hopefully they can turn it around. I sure hope they can. All right, guys, any last questions, comments, concerns? Drop in the chat. Starting maybe next week. I'll go Monday through Friday. If not, if I don't start tomorrow, because the thing is, I have to figure out a lot for it. I have to figure out some things in OBS, like the streaming software. And then I have to figure out how to navigate Rumble Studio. I called up Red Pill 78 today. I was asking him some questions on how to navigate Rumble Studio. There'd just be some logistical changes that I have to make and figure out. So maybe tomorrow, if I can figure everything out in the morning, I might just start streaming every night. Same time, 6 p.m. 6 p.m. Mountain Time. 4 Pacific, 5 Mountain, 6 Central, 7 Eastern. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Mo Betta. Well, it would be Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So I'd still be streaming Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Just also Tuesday, Thursday. Comprende? Rick, you dog! I see that comment. Long Island needs a GART. Well, we were in Boston last year. When was that? May? So we were close. I mean, holding a political event like that anywhere, especially for like a smaller startup media company, we don't have all the money in the world to go to the giant nice places. We have to find, venue in price range that has, big enough and can make food and stuff like that. So venue in price range with the necessary requirements. and then venue that's okay with political leanings, right? Because some venues will say, no, we don't want you having an event here. We don't agree with you. So venue in the price range with necessary requirements that's okay with what we're going to talk about, that also has people in the area that would travel to it, that would purchase tickets, right? So we need local base that would go. Long Island, yeah, I'm sure would have that. There's tons of people in New York, Northeast, so there'd be enough people that would go. But the problem is price of the venues and political leanings of the venues. So yeah, we'll bring Gart to the Chicago suburbs, right? Everybody's got Switch. Guess Montana is out. Not necessarily. I've been trying to get Coeur d'Alene, Idaho. But somewhere in like Flathead Valley would be really good too. I mean, we do the Garts in Deadwood, South Dakota. So Deadwood this year is in June. If we can do Deadwood, South Dakota, I mean, we can do smaller towns in more rural areas. But just the venue, right? So for Montana, finding a venue would be the likely in Montana, venues would be fine with our political leanings, so we could check that off. There would probably be enough, like, if it's in the Flathead Valley, probably be enough people that would go. So we could check that off, but finding a venue that's price range or big enough. I mean, obviously we don't need like giant venues, but you know, hold a few hundred people, a couple hundred people, and that makes food. So, but I'm not involved in all that. Yeah, I would love to do one in the Pacific Northwest somewhere. Flathead, North Idaho, Washington. Trump Towers. Little out of the price range. Timberlake's Bill 555. What's that? Maine. What's going on in Maine? Proposal to create dedicated child welfare department? If they create a completely separate child welfare system in Maine, and then its commissioner would be appointed by the governor, You can just imagine how much frickin' fraud would be ran through that. And it removes civil liability partially from impacted families. Takes away a whole bunch of legal stuff from families. Yeah, I imagine so. And especially allowing the governor to appoint whoever's going to run the separate child welfare department. That's just asking for trouble. Asking for trouble. The movie theater in Big Sky. You're not talking about a hotel though, right? Are there accommodations there? Because I love Big Sky. I've been to the mountain once, went mountain biking during the summer. Lone Mountain, that's what they call that big mountain. Big Sky, right? Lone Mountain. Would love to go there. I imagine that might be expensive though. Big Sky is expensive. 320 guest ranch. Doesn't look like this is that big though. Like how many oh, I imagine this is so booked out. Yeah, I mean they don't have that many cabins there. That would be so damn expensive too. Prices aren't too bad, honestly. There's just not that many cabins there. Not enough. Not big enough. All right, guys. Good chat. Good talk. I'm going to jet. Appreciate all y'all. I might see you tomorrow. Maybe. Here on Rumble and YouTube and Pilled. Might try it out tomorrow. Otherwise, I will see you on Friday. Hey, don't hit me with any venue suggestions. I don't do any of that. That is that's a Badlands thing. Well, I'm a part of Badlands, but I don't handle any of the logistical things with guards or venue selection. I've suggested many places, but I just send that to the crew and let them decide. So anyway, yeah, I might see you guys tomorrow, maybe. If not, Maha News Badlands on Friday, 4 p.m. Eastern. And back here for sure, 8 p.m. Eastern. What up, Cam? White sugar. I'm call me a little snow bunny. I'll be your little snow bunny, bro. You can be my black beans. My black rice. Oh, you don't like that one? Bummer. You will. You will. All right. See you guys.